Good afternoon, Brutal Planet listeners. This is Joey here. Love and Death is a metal band that was stemmed from Brian Head Welch's solo work about 10 years ago. Their new album, Perfectly Preserved, releases this Friday, February 12th. I'm sitting here with guitarist and backing vocalist JR. I'm thinking it's Bareise.
It's
Bareise?
close. Bareise. It's a little
Bareise,
weird.
okay. Well,
Funky,
thanks
yeah.
for meeting with us, JR. Where are you calling from today?
I'm in Arizona right now.
Is that
Yep.
your home, or is that where you guys are
Yeah,
doing the show? That is your home?
yeah, yeah. And so I'm leaving pretty soon. Gonna go out there and get ready. So
Yeah. So this
yeah.
has been a crazy year. You guys found time to write and record an album, and we're going to get a little bit more into that. But what else have you done to pass the time in 2020, 2021 here with all the quarantines and changes we had to adjust to?
Yeah. The biggest thing was the Love and Death stuff. We've been working on that about a couple months after the pandemic stuff had started. So doing that, I do a lot of studio work from home, like session work for bands and stuff, and also my other band, Spoken. We've been working on a new record as well. So just been staying busy with music, doing that, and um, other than that, just been home, so just trying to make the best of my time.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, cool. Well, you guys, Love and Death was basically on hiatus for quite a while, right? I mean, you released one single, I think back 2016 or something, but other than that, you guys have been kind of out of the picture for quite a few years. How did you guys get back together to do this record?
Yeah, it was it's been a about a 7-year process, writing this record. Honestly, it started in 2014, so about a year after the first record came out. At that point, everyone was kind of spread out doing their own thing. Brian went back to Corn, and I went to a band at the time called Islander. I was with them for a couple years, and um, our producer at the time, who's now our bass player, Jason Rao, he joined Breaking Benjamin. So everyone at that point was just kind of scattered, totally different schedules on the road, whatever, and so finding the time to meet up and write and do all this, it was a little rough, kind of hard. But we would at least find one or two times a year, honestly, to get together and do it. So yeah, we started in 2014, and slowly but surely, we were plucking away at it, and then when 2020 hit, that kind of freed everyone's schedules, and we were like, all right, we actually can, not just take a week or something out of a year to do this, we can really focus on this and just like hammer it out and do it, um, so we went through like we had about around 20 or 25 songs, or at least ideas, and we just sifted through everything, chose what was strong and good, and what to throw out, and we ended up keeping only like 5 songs out of all of them, and then
Oh,
we
wow.
wrote like 4 or 5 new songs in 2020 we ended up doing. So um but yeah, that was the process. So yeah.
Yeah, well, that's cool. So you guys, like your writing process, how does that actually look? Does one guy bring most of the ideas and then you kind of collaborate online, or how did you go about doing the record?
Yeah, it was literally a collaboration 100% from everyone. Again, we started in 2014, and what it usually looked like was me going out to Jason's place. He's got a studio, and we would just write together. Just work on songs and whatever we had, kind of start to build some kind of form of a song, for whatever we had, and um, did that from 2014 to 2019. Honestly, like about once or twice a year, we would meet up and do that, and Brian was there a couple times through those, and we also had Keith Wallen, who is also the other guitar player for Breaking Benjamin. Incredible dude, awesome writer and musician, and we had him on board helping us writing with like lyrics and melodies and stuff. Um, but yeah, that's basically what it looked like. And, people were throwing ideas, online too when we weren't together, just back and forth emails. And here's a new idea, stuff like that. So total collab. And then in 2020, again, when we were kind of picking and choosing out of all that we had written, and we had decided, we could beat a lot of the stuff that we had. So we went and just hammered out like 4 new songs, um and they're pretty rad. But yeah, so it was totally collab, like myself, Jason, Brian. We were all throwing, guitar riffs and ideas at each other. We're throwing lyrics and melodies at each other. And along with Keith, he did a lot of vocal stuff with us as well. And our producer, Joe Rickard, he had a lot of great ideas too. And so it was truly just a huge collab, with the band as a whole. Isaiah as well, our drummer, he came up with some really cool chops, his drumming and stuff on the songs, and brought some life to them. And then we wrote with a friend of ours named Tom Hain. He used to be the drummer for In This Moment. And
Yeah,
we had played a couple shows with them back in like 2013. And that's how we met and kept in contact. And he does full-time writing and producing now. And so we were like, let's try to write with him, And so we did 2 songs with him on the record. So totally just everyone, like, hands on deck, just kind of like no one is just like, only I'm writing the guitars and
yeah,
you do bass, it's just kind of like, let's just all throw any ideas we have together because we want it to be the best thing possible.
yeah.
So, yeah.
So you mentioned Joe producing the album. I thought Jason produced this one as well.
So Jason, so they co-produced is what
Oh,
it,
okay,
it came about. So we brought Joe on in 2020,
okay,
because with having Jason part of the band now, actually too, we didn't want the weight of that and producing this whole thing on
right,
him. So we were like, let's get Joe. He's great, and
yeah,
also to get a fresh pair of ears on the songs.
right,
And Joe was really part of why we ended up writing like 4 new songs in 2020.
okay.
I remember he called me and was like, "Hey, dude, like, I love the songs we've picked out, but I really think we could beat like half of these." And I was
So,
like,
so he's the reason we have a full length and not an EP.
"Well, we originally had like 10 songs, but he
Okay,
was saying like, about half of the record we could beat it. He thought, we
okay,
could do a lot better." And I was like, all right, I mean, let's try it,
yeah,
so he would the way we work usually, like him and he'll send me like a drum beat, or like a just drums idea, and I'll just kind of write to it, and
yeah,
we'll go back and forth with that. And then Keith, we would send it to Keith then once we kind of got a form going, and he would throw melody ideas, lyric ideas, and we would kind of get some kind of cohesive demo to say, and throw it at Jason and Brian. And then they would, throw their 2 cents in and
yeah,
add their stuff to it as well. So, um, and yeah, it ended up being like almost the whole first half of the record is the new songs, Infamy, Tragedy, Down, Death of Us. Those were like the 4 new ones we
yeah.
ended up doing.
Yeah, I
Uh,
was going to ask you, like, if Jason produced the record, how the dynamic was with him being in the band now, working with a
yeah.
producer that's a
Yeah.
member, and
Yeah,
how
he's
that worked.
still, he contributed just as much as the first record too, like he's kind of a freak of nature. He's so good at just like
Yeah,
making a song be the best thing it can be, like taking something that I myself or Brian or whoever wrote and it like kind of sucks, and then he's like, all right, so let's take this and make it good. And
that's
same with
awesome.
Joe too. And they both did an incredible job, kind of pushing us to get it to where it needed to be. So
Yeah, yeah. You mentioned working with Keith Wallen, and for the listeners, he's guitarist for Breaking Benjamin. I got to interview him just last week, and
oh cool.
he kind of talked to me about working with you guys too. And I didn't realize that he had his hands so much into this project, but he's a
Yeah,
phenomenal musician. And I was just wondering, what it was like working with him so much on this project.
dude, it was so cool. I mean, he like even, besides the music stuff, just him as a person, he's one of the most coolest, genuine dudes in the world,
Yeah,
and it was so fun just getting to hang with him and Jason too, writing and doing stuff together and even just, online, just throwing stuff back and forth. And, it's funny. The first song on the record, Infamy, that's all totally him. Like the lyrics and the melody and the progression,
yeah,
all of that was him. I remember it was one of the last songs we ended up doing, before we finished everything. And
yeah.
I was on a plane, I remember, and Joe had sent me a link, and he was like, "Hey, Keith sent this to me, and he wanted to know if it was any good, And I was like, "All right." So I checked it out, and I was like, I texted him back. I was like, "Dude, is he joking? Like, this is awesome."
Yeah.
And I was like, "It's so good." And
Well,
yeah,
he's such a good musician. I mean, writing stuff for Breaking Benjamin and you guys, but then also his solo stuff now. It's
yeah,
phenomenal, you know.
yeah,
So,
yeah. So
but
it's just cool to have been able to work with him. He's such a humble, genuine guy, and the other guys too. It's just been awesome getting to work with some really talented people who, just love music and want to make something great,
yeah.
so, you know.
So the song "The Hunter" is that Keith singing the whole time? It's hard to tell just from the audio because you guys are all so good at singing. But
Yeah, so him and Brian are the ones singing on that one, and then
okay,
I did like some harmonies on like the last chorus, of
yeah.
that song. But
Well, I knew
yeah.
you did singing too, so it was hard to. I'm like, is this Keith or is this JR or what's going on? But
Yeah, some people have said we sound alike, which is, I guess, because I know my voice so well, I'm like, I don't really hear it, because
yeah,
I have a very, like, we joke around, I sound like a Backstreet Boy when I sing. I just have like a, a super clean voice. I've never had that like super, like Keith. What I love is like his voice is clean, but it's got that grit to it too,
right, right.
and I'm like, I remember he called me after we tracked the vocals, and he was like, "Dude, I heard your vocals and stuff, and they're just great. I wish I could sing like you." And I was like, "Well, I wish I could sing like you." So,
That's awesome when you can work
um,
with people like that.
yeah, yeah. So, again, yeah, just really cool to be a part of this with such great people and great musicians.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you too about the single "Down." It's my almost 5-year-old son here. He has played that on Alexa so many times. I
Oh,
told him, I'm
cool.
like, I love that song. Don't let me get sick of it. You know, like he's playing it nonstop. But I just wanted to ask you guys, like, how did that come about? Who kind of wrote the riffs for that, and where'd the idea come from?
Yeah, so that's one that we did in 2020. That was, I think, either the first or second new song we had written, like going and starting to write new stuff. That started with it was me and Joe. I remember he sent me drums, and I was trying to come up with like some riffs, and you want it to like, it's like that riff changed a lot actually from when I first wrote it. There wasn't like a whammy thing or anything in it yet. It was just kind of like a da-doon, 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 da-doo. It was just kind of more of like a driving kind of
Yep,
riff
yep,
at first, and which was really cool. And then I sent it to Brian and Jason, and they're like, "This is cool. Let's like expand on it. Let's try to make it, a little different, a little unique, not like repetitive. What I was doing and stuff." So then when I went to track guitars, we were still kind of working out the little kinks in the riff and stuff, and we ended up, I think it was Brian. He was like, "Try using like a whammy on some of the notes. Just experiment with like doing stuff like that." So yeah, we ended up coming like the just kind of
yeah,
cool thing like that. So yeah, that's kind of how the riff came about. And yeah, as far as like the rest of the song, it was basically just, myself and Jason for the most part, as far as guitars, throwing, ideas back and forth for like chorus and bridge riff and stuff and all that. So
yeah.
and then Keith and Brian and Jason were they came up with those lyrics, I think, between the three of them.
Okay.
I didn't really, from what I didn't really do much on the lyrics on that one. So
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, again, just everyone just kind of throwing their hand in,
Yeah, that's cool.
in the mix and doing their
Well,
thing.
as of right now, JR, it's the most played song in our house. So my son's a big fan.
That's awesome. Well, hopefully he'll like the rest of the record.
Yeah. So I was going to ask you about the last single, but I don't know how much time we're going to have. I wanted to ask you about the Justin Bieber cover.
Mhm.
I'm thinking a lot of people are going to be shocked by that, but where'd that idea come from, and what was it like working with Lacey on that?
Yeah, that was my idea. I take all the blame for doing the Beaver song.
No, I think it's genius.
Oh, that's yeah. See, I've never been like, I just like one genre of music and everything
Right.
else sucks. Like I love music in
I think
general.
that's what makes you a good musician, honestly. If you can branch out and collaborate and draw ideas from,
Yeah,
all genres, that's where you get good musicianship. So I think
totally.
it was a great idea.
Dude, thanks, man. Yeah, it was so random. I mean, that song came out in 2016, and I remember myself and Brian both loved it, and loved the lyrics, the meaning, just the way it sounded, the melodies, everything. Um and it was 2017. I remember I was playing the song in my truck. I was like driving somewhere, and I just had this idea when I was listening to it. Just kind of hit me. I was like, I heard this like just huge riff and just this like four on the floor, just drums, driving kind of thing. And I was like, oh, this could be kind of cool, because
Yeah,
I was hearing like the key of the song too. And I was like, it would work with our tuning that we're in and stuff, So,
yeah,
so I went home, I made this really crappy demo because I didn't know how to record well at the time, and, um, I put something together and I sent it to Brian and Jason. Was just like, hey, I was like, check this out. Give me a chance. It's a Beaver song, but let's, just see if you like it or not. And they loved it. They thought it was awesome.
yeah,
So we took it and ran with it. And in 2019 is when we had the idea, having Lacey be a part of it.
yeah,
And Brian's known her for a long time and has wanted to collab with her on something, for forever.
yeah,
So we hit her up and she was stoked on it, because she said the song had a lot of personal meaning to her too, the lyrics and
sure,
stuff. So she was really excited to be a part of it too, which was cool. And she is just like incredible at what she does. Her voice is awesome, and her screams are insane.
yeah,
And her as a person too, again, just like such a sweet, genuine person, so
yeah,
um, it was great. It was really cool. And I think, like you said, people will be a little shocked,
yeah.
when they hear it, but I think it'll be really cool.
No, I think it's a
If people
great
don't like
cover.
it, that's cool too. So
Yeah. So listeners, you gotta look forward to hearing "Let Me Love You." It's really a really good cover. Just don't go covering any Cardi B or something, okay, JR?
yeah, I think we're good on that. I don't know if we go that far. So
So you guys got a show this Friday.
yeah,
Uh, First show in a long time. How are you feeling about
yeah,
that? And can you tell us a little bit about that?
yeah. It'll be our first show in 7 years, a little over
Yeah,
7 years. A little nervous. I'm excited, but I'm nervous. Like just haven't done it in forever. And but we're all excited. Just to be in a room together again, playing, and just in general, because of not being able to tour and stuff for
right.
over a year now. Um, and like me practicing the songs, like the old songs from back, 7, 8 years ago has been
Yeah,
kind of nostalgic. Just
right.
revisiting those songs, playing them again, and it's been really fun. So I'm really excited. I know the whole band is excited, and I know everyone's been excited for it.
And where are you doing the show from?
It's going to be in Nashville.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're doing
You
like
guys got some guests. Keith lives in Nashville. I think he's going to be with you guys.
yeah, we've got Keith who's going to be guesting with us on um the Hunter, and then we also have him playing guitar and stuff on a couple other songs with
Yeah.
us, which will be cool. And then we have Lacey, she's going to be there as well. And we got Matty Mullins from Memphis Mayfire.
Yeah, I was wondering what song he was going to guest on.
Yeah, he's going to jump on White Flag for us.
Oh, cool. I was thinking that, but
Yeah, so
that's
that'll be really
cool.
fun. but yeah, man, we're just looking forward to it. It's gonna be great. I know, like, it's not like being in person at a show, but it'll still be really cool for people to get to see us jam again, and
Well,
just to
my 4 kids are excited because they all get to attend a rock concert for the first time. So
yeah,
yeah, we're gonna be watching from
in
our
your
living room.
yeah. Start a mosh pit around the couch.
Yeah, no, we don't need any more of that. So you guys, I know this is probably still way up in the air, but any ideas on touring plans this year yet, or?
Yeah, we're not sure. We've gone back and forth as far as what it would look like, if we did, because again, like, we all have our own separate bands, and I think when touring opens up, that'll be like the first priority, obviously, and
Right.
but we have talked about, we do want to, if it's possible and if it makes sense, so we'll see what happens, but we're like, at least if anything, we can do this live stream, see how it goes, and with the record too, like, see how the response is and kind of
Yeah.
build off that. And I know there's been a lot of festivals and stuff like getting booked and stuff, but I know they're kind of just like, we're planning this and then we're just kind of waiting it out, and seeing
Yeah.
what happens if we can do it. So,
Well,
uh,
how about we do a Korn, Breaking Benjamin, Spoken, Love and Death tour?
dude, a lot of people have been saying that. It's like, it's almost like it's like everyone's side project and then their main band kind of thing. And
Yeah.
it'd be crazy, but man, I think all of us would probably be beat, after one night
Yeah.
playing like 2 shows each,
Right. Right.
um, but yeah, you never know. It'd be kind of cool. So,
Yeah. So last question, I guess, for you. Valentine's Day is coming up. You got big plans?
it's just gonna be me, myself, and I.
I didn't know if you were married, girlfriend, cats. I didn't know.
Nah, I got a girlfriend, but
Okay.
we're it's kind of like a long distance thing.
Uh,
But it's been great. But yeah, I'll just, I'll be home probably. So
Dinner over Zoom, huh?
yeah, nice little
Get,
online
get
Zoom dinner.
creative. Yeah, I know it's been so weird this last year, just holidays and having to adjust everything and plan differently, and
Yeah,
you guys, not touring. It's crazy world right now. So,
yeah, for sure.
I'm anxious for it to get back to normal. But I said, the darkness of this last year, the silver lining on that dark cloud is really which one of our favorite bands is coming out with new material soon. So I
Yeah,
was super stoked when I saw you guys were coming out with a new album, and I think the whole thing turned out great. JR, well done.
dude, thanks, man. Yeah, if there's like, it sounds bad, but if there's one thing that did come out of the pandemic that's good, is we were able to, finish this and
Yeah,
stuff. So I'm just excited that it's done. People are finally gonna hear it and get it. And um I'm just excited to see what's to come, So
yeah,
see.
yeah. No, well done, and thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, thank you, man. Thanks for having me on. And thanks for doing what you do too, helping bands get the word out. And
Yeah.
we couldn't do it without you and everyone else that does this kind of stuff either. So thank you.
Yeah. Well, there you go, Brutal Planet listeners. Perfectly Preserved releases this Friday. It's an incredible album. There's a live stream show this Friday as well. The tickets are only $15. I checked out the band's website. They got new merch for sale. Support your favorite band. Check it out. Go to the show. Do what you can to support our bands here. So, JR, thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, thank you for having me, man.
All right, keep in touch.
All righty.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.